Thanks for helping me out with this delve, Tally. It really helps remind me why I started dating you in the first place.
Companionship and great conversation?
Mostly having a pocket healer, but I guess some of that too.
Oh no. Evie, watch out. It's Zekvir!
Oh no!
Oh, he is gonna absolutely ream us. I'm sorry, there's nothing that I can do.
I guess we'll just have to run?
Those webs summon the Rubians. Don't stand in them.
Yes, I know, Bran.
And anyway, it's a bit late now, Bran.
And also, you're the one standing in the web, Bran.
You're looking a bit rough. Take a wee break.
Oh man.
Oh wow. Thanks, Bran. More healing potions. This will definitely save us from being ripped apart at the hands of the massive bug monster for sure.
Actually, this is pretty good.
What? Oh my god, that's actually really healing me.
I feel amazing.
Old Bran's got your back.
Wow. Thanks, Bran. Have you been working out?
Bran, I can't believe it. You're a Chad now.
I should be jealous about that, but honestly, it's true.
Here's your take of the spoils.
Oh my gosh, 6 gold! Thank you, Bran, you're the best!
I'll treasure this gold forever, Bran.
If it's not smoked, it's not Gouda.
Oh man, he's so funny. When did he get so funny?
I love Gouda too.
Knowledge is power.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here. Welcome to another episode of the Weekly Reset, Taliesin and Evitel's wondrous wisdom show. In a week where we have big updates to tell you all about, including new NPCs and dialogue on the patch 11.0.5 PTR, which give some further big hints at where we are going for the next major patch in 11.1. Dialogue which would both seem to confirm what we already suspected and add some more new intrigue on top. All of that to come, and Evie's news roundup as well. But first, the reason I know you're all really here, the race to world first. Not the mythic race to world first, because that's long gone. And yeah, well done, Liquid and everything. Another trophy in the cabinet for you, but there's one title that eludes them, and that's the real contest when it comes to World of Warcraft competitive PvE, the race to world first. Heroic for guilds with names a bit like Immortalis. Liquid wish they could win this race to world first, but barring a pretty drastic name change, which granted wouldn't be the first time, I don't think they ever will. So, progress has been pretty slow for the People's Champions, sweet-smelling, AI-hating, old lady-helping Immortalis Argent Dawn EU. Yay! Because unfortunately, Nerubar Palace fell right before our tank went away for a motorcycle trip for a couple of weeks, and then a bunch of other guildies went to Center Parks for a bit. But we are back on it now, and already the finish line is in sight as we progress Queen Ansarek. A very simple and easy fight, which means we've basically got this race in the bag. Probably worth mentioning that we are one of 3 guilds with names a bit like Immortalis, currently progressing the Crab Queen with Norska Immortalis and newbies Amicus Immortalis, all having started theirs a little bit before us. And also it's probably worth mentioning that as I was writing this segment, bit like Immortalis actually won the race. And actually, it's all over now. Bit like Immortalis are the winners. Not the longest race in the competition's history, but congratulations BLI, even though they cheat. I mean, we all know they cheat, right? That's pretty well known. And good luck to everyone else now fighting for the remaining podium places. We will keep you updated. But to kick us off properly with today's episode, let's go to Evie for the week's news rundown.
Let's run down! It's officially October, which means the October Trading Post goodies are up, along with a new Traveler's Log reward. The Trading Post team has done their best to be Halloween-y, curating a mostly black and white assortment this time around, including the silver hand mount from Chains of Domination, far inferior to the gold in my humble opinion, a huge assortment of black and or white transmog items, and the Ragged Harvest Golem transmog set, which is worth every pretty penny. Look at those spooky green eyes! This one really does it for me because now I can pretend Cillian Murphy is in my video game and that I can puppet him around as I please. And I do please. Oh, and you can also now get the Eve's Ghastly Rider broom mount on the shop. Whoops! This iconic flying broomstick mount was last seen on October 23 as the reward for filling up the Traveler's Log, but now you can get your hands on it for a measly 25 buckaroos on the shop, which is awesome. And don't just listen to me, listen to the forums, who were delighted with the idea that the broomstick mount, the most obvious trading post mount to appear in the month of October, which in fact has appeared on the trading post in its previous October, would be put on the shop to make way for new and even spookier items like a jellyfish. Ooh, scary. Seriously, you can't move around here on Halloween for kids in jellyfish costumes. Actually, that reminds me, I'd better go and order Annie's jellyfish costume for his Halloween disco because I don't want them to be sold out because it's such a popular Halloween costume. I'm being a bit unfair about the spooky thing. Like the scarecrow outfit? That's cool. That's scary. I have no complaints about this kit, except that it means that we all now have to have 2 Tauren rogue alts we don't play, Invisible and Scarecow. That's almost a full herd of hilariously named neglected bovine. But I can totally understand where people are coming from when they complain about the broomstick now being a shop item. It was the Traveler's Log reward in October 2023, and I get that we don't want to be repeating the monthly rewards, but I think it's okay, nay, even good, to have them appear again as trading post items you can buy with your tendies. I agree, the shop is nasty and bad and icky, and also there is a part of me which is kind of glad it's on the shop now because I can just go ahead and buy it and have the sweet, sweet tendies left over for the Zebra, a not zebra unique mount with as many forehead horns as it has pixels? Why yes, I will take 1 good trading post, sir, even though it is like very spooky. The duality of man. Also, the hand mount looks like it's rolling dice, but also like it's giving a hand job, and I don't mind that per se. I just think it would be better in February for the Valentine's Day trading post is all. Delve news. Zekvir's Lair has been nerfed across the board and is now, dare I say it, very beatable. This is great news for anyone still looking to down Zekvir or Zekvir for the first time, but also for anyone looking to efficiently fill out their world event bar in the Great Vault with guaranteed 616 items. The big guy's health and damage have been reduced, egg hatch times and abilities take longer, and spittle and regenerating carapace now align with your character's interrupt cooldowns. Also alongside that, don't forget Bran is no longer the companion equivalent of a lifeguard at an Olympic swimming event and actually, helps now. New Chad Bran is the glow up of the century and the fight is much more straightforward now. I first waltzed in on Zekvir at the beginning of the War Within with my 570 Hunter and was pretty much one-shot. Post nerfs, I had him down pretty easily with just a couple of tries. Zekvir? Here I come. Tally is the alt dude in this relationship and he's been able to fairly easily beat Zekvir on everything he's tried on it so far, including a 570 Fire Mage and a 540 Fury Warrior, which makes it easily the simplest way to get heroic track gear for lower level tunes, to the extent where, they're gonna change it, right? So it doesn't count as a tier 8 delve, right? I'd get in there quick. With patch 11.0.5 somewhere on the horizon, we were delighted to see speedy updates to the new Shaman Ascendance models, which maybe didn't match the epic elemental channeling image that some players had of themselves. In a quick response to player feedback, the new baseline Ascendance model has been updated, but has also had a nice little helmet popped on, effectively taming the frankly insane hair effect on the original update. Luckily, for those who prefer to be a little extra, and Tally's whole folder of memes about the first attempt model, the Glyph of Energetic Ascendance will allow shamans to set their hair free, while the Glyph of Traditional Ascendance will keep it under wraps. Tally, open the folder. And for players who ever dare venture IRL, but within the safety of a reinforced steel vehicle, of course, no grass to be touched here, popular sat-nav app Waze has just released a Thrall-flavored voice pack, as in Thrall, Chris Metzen in your ear, will guide your way. And not only does he give you directions, he gives you direction.
In 0.1 miles, at the roundabout, make a U-turn. If you made a mistake, forgive yourself. We all make them, as I did with Garrosh becoming war chief.
He may not be able to command the elements, but he'll get you to the supermarket and back and leave you feeling inspired and full of faction pride to boot. Also, this means that Thrall now has more voice lines on your average school run than he does in the entirety of the War Within so far.
PTR news, and this is hot off the presses because it happened in the newest build which went out just hours ago, hence why this episode may be coming a little bit late. Sometimes it's worth being a little bit late, because ever since the War Within was announced, there's been two big questions at the heart of the community, and they are the same two questions that we always have about any expansion, because one of our favourite games to play is not the World of Warcraft patch right in front of us, obviously, but what comes next? Who is the final boss of the expansion, and where will the various major patches of the X-Pack take us? We've had some evidence in data mining that has been pretty explicit in what we can expect from the shape of War Within's patches, but now, with this latest 11.0.5 build, we have even more actual in-game stuff, which makes this a Bluebot spoiler. But be warned, because obviously we're going to mention that initial data mining too, so this is now a Redbot Spoilerbot section, which you can skip in the chapters below, where you'll also find a link to buy this brilliant Redbot Spoilerbot plushie, because he's only on sale for a couple of more days. He will protect you from spoilers. You just stay there, little buddy. Protect them from the spoilers. So before the expansion even released, we had icons for a Goblin raid and an Ethereal raid, and we've made an entire video about what this means, with many of us speculating that 11.1 would be set in the Undermine, the underground goblin city that was supposed to be a location in vanilla WoW, but which we have still never been to in-game. And this makes sense. A goblin-themed patch, underground, because that's kind of War Within's thing, right? There are dialogue lines between goblins in Azkahet talking about the Undermine. It all tracks. It's all perfect. But then, in the latest PTR, though, we can find Ricket and Skagit, two goblin NPCs that, incidentally, both have history as patch quest givers. Ricket has doled out dailies in, among other places, the Molten Front, and Skagit was last seen in Mechagon. And what are these two daily quest givers from expansion patch zones talking about? Well, a new patch zone, of course. And I'm just gonna go ahead and read you all of this, okay? I'm telling you, Skagit, I'm not doing the voice. I'm telling you, Skagit, something called to us from across the water. But when we arrived, it was eerie. Abandoned. Abandoned? And there was no one on the end of this call? Nope. Nobody. Zip. There was nothing there but some big crystal. Crystal? Like valuable crystal? Or an abandoned mine? Ricky, you're killing me. Why didn't you nab some of it? Hey, clouds were rolling in and my gang was already on edge. We looked around and then we booked it out of there. If you heard it loud and clear out to sea, I'm sure you're not the only one. We better get out there fast if we want that crystal. I heard Gazlo's getting us a Zeppelin. Certainly faster than boat, but that's gonna take a while. You reckon I should reach out to the grease monkeys? Do it. See if we can get out there faster. So, we have an island somewhere with a massive crystal on it, which is calling out across the water to anyone around it and drawing them towards it. Gazlo already knows about it and is organising an expedition. I think you will agree, this sounds like a bona fide nailed on 0.1 patch zone if ever there was one. And it would seem, therefore, that we were all right to surmise that it would be goblin related, even if the Undermine is starting to look like a bad call. Unless the Undermine is the island with the crystal on it, which it doesn't sound like it is. But it's worth noting, the goblins aren't the only ones interested in this island and its eerie crystal. Valenta Thuridale, an Arathi airship engineer, is one of numerous new Arathi NPCs up on the surface in Dornegal, and she can be overheard in conversation with Vokret, acquiring materials for a construction project, which would appear to be an Arathi airbase in the city. I am curious about the journey your people are undertaking. I don't mind telling you later, in private perhaps. Oh man, I can't believe they don't want to have a sensitive conversation with me standing right next to their table, staring at them and grinning like an idiot. How rude, how paranoid. Doesn't matter anyway though, because I know what it is. Goblins. Not everyone in this town is quite so careful, like these two loose-lipped earthen. I heard that a few of the goblins have been talking about news of a discovery. Do you know what they have found? I only heard pebbles and shards. Something about a crystal on an island? A crystal? Intriguing. That must be why the Arathi are so interested. So, it now looks like the next patch might be a Goblin and Arathi double tag team combo going to this island and investigating the crystal, but also having a raid which is referenced as Goblin Raid in the files. And okay, so this might not be Undermine after all. It might not be the pure expression of Goblin awesomeness that many of us have been hoping for, and I have, because honestly, Goblins are one of the best things about this expansion so far for me. I have been won over by the Goblins, okay? Especially Goldie Barrenbottom, the baddie in the Cinderbrew Meadery, which coincidentally will be in the Mythic Plus season rotation in patch 11.1 when all this other stuff is going down. I love Goldie Barrenbottom. I will fight for Goldie. I will kill for Goldie Barrenbottom. She is my queen. But this is starting to look an awful lot like what I've always said I wanted the first patch of War Within to look like, even before the Goblin Raid data mining, namely this key art from Hearthstone. I want my airship patch. I always said 11.1 would be the perfect time for it, after an expansion opening set largely underground, clearly building up both the Goblins and the Arathi. What better theme for the follow-up than Arathi and Goblin airship fun in the literal open sky? You can't get more opposite to 11.0 underground vibes than the literal open sky, and it definitely looks like that may be on the cards to a certain degree, and that makes me very, very happy indeed. And yeah, okay, so it's not going to be the everything in the sky in huge airship cities for everything patch that I was championing, but if both the Goblins and Arathi are there, well, they probably won't be working together, because you'd imagine they will have very different plans for that mysterious crystal. So maybe there are like two airship hubs floating around the island, which has turned into a constant war zone which we airdrop into for quests and dailies. Maybe these hubs could be circling the island so that they are not static but always in a different place, like the Dawnbreaker in the Dawnbreaker dungeon. Still the best dungeon ever made, by the way. No joke, no sarcasm. Dawnbreaker is the best dungeon. I will die on this hill, or possibly in the hull of the Dawnbreaker after I clip in there by mistake and get stuck and kill a +8 key, but you know. The possibilities are endless, and I can't wait for more little hints to come sneaking out, and an official reveal and announcement of this patch, I guess shortly after 11.0.5 goes live with all its 20th anniversary shenanigans. Because look, I am really excited about the anniversary stuff. Of course I am, but this is the real shit that gets me going. Oh, one last thing, but there's another new NPC in Donegal too. This, well, the hairstyle would place her as a void elf, labelled as unknown, and with a dialogue bubble that appears when you hover over her that currently doesn't say anything at all. And you might have noticed, she's a Silver Covenant NPC. And there have been whispers online in the last couple of days of a Verisa NPC in the data mining. And look, I'm not saying that this could be a placeholder for the most neglected Windrunner sister finally making an appearance in something meaningful, but I mean, it could be. By the time we get this video published, I'm sure Wowhead will be all over this, and as always, we will put links to articles covering this and other news from the episode in the description below. But thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us, thank our patrons who give their actual real-life money to make all of our work happen. I'm sorry, it's not spoilers anymore. And seriously, patrons, thank you, because without you, there would be a whole lot less Taliesin and Evitel. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it, and remember, my name is Eric Buai. No, my name is Taliesin, from me and Evie. Until next time, cheerio.